I mean, we've got Matt Kemps and Rob, I don't know your last name.
Poulton.
Rob Poulton with the company that y'all have just recently launched, Azulio. What I know is that it's a CRM, and right now we're gearing it towards the real estate space, but eventually would like to branch it out to other businesses, sales industries, and stuff like that. So I'll let you guys give us the broad stroke picture of what, I want to know how it started,
Sure.
what the big picture
like
is.
How far back do you want to go? Like when Rob was a little boy and how we got here?
Well, I find that most people that are, putting together CRMs or anything along those lines are doing it because they're trying to solve a problem.
Yeah.
So why don't we start from there?
Sure. So the CRM is an aspect of what we do. You definitely need that as a core component. Think of it as the orchestration where you put your customer information. But really, we're doing total customer lifecycle management. So from the time someone says, hey, I have a problem, or I'm in need of a thing, whatever that be. For right now, it's I want to buy or sell a house, right?
Yep.
All the way through to how you get those two people together, the agent and the seller or buyer of the home in the future state, right? Like you've got them today, and you got to get them to a future time when they both meet. And we call that appointment setting. And that chasm is really difficult for people to manage. And with the workflows and artificial intelligence in the process in Azulio, we make that effortless so that if you're a real estate agent, you're saying, man, I'm getting appointments scheduled, I'm getting live communications, I'm watching the system work, and I'm appointment setting and answering and solving problems when I show up. But from the client side, so think about the borrower or the home buyer, depending on where, if you're listening and you're a lender, the borrower is yours, but the client on the buyer side would be for the real estate agent, but then also the seller. They raise their hand, and somewhere in the world, might be on your social media, might be they came in on your website, might be a pay-per-click ad. They said, I need your help. I've determined that you could help me with this problem. They need a great experience. They want to be responded to quickly. They want to be provided the information they need to help make a decision and be guided through that process. And so we see it from both sides. One's the customer who pays. That would be the real estate agent in this example. They pay for our services. But we also have a secondary client, which is your client, and they need to have a great experience when dealing with you. And so we spend a lot of that time solving those complex problems. And so if you ask why we got into it, it's because it's a really cool problem.
Right. I know, Matt, you've worked with multiple different CRMs and everything. Is this something that you, well, I mean it as in you've got experience with what the competition is doing. Is this something that is an addition to a CRM that you would use, or is this going to eliminate all other
eliminates everything else? We built this actually for Lone Wolf to start with.
Okay.
Lone Wolf being my team. Wasn't intended to be a product to go start with. It was going to be, all right, there's Follow Boss, there's Boomtown, there's Sync, there's all these different other companies that are out there.
Bold Trail.
But don't even get me started. There's all those companies that are out there, and they're 5-10 years old, and the software just has not evolved to where we are today in the current state. Sure, they may have AI, but it's going to be going through with green text messaging. I know you're an Android user, so I'm going to shit on it for a little bit.
Sure.
Okay. When I receive a iMessage on my phone, we refer to that as a P2P type of communication.
Okay.
It comes off to an iPhone user as warm and friendly. I trust you. Like the probability of me responding to your text via iMessage on my iPhone is much higher if it comes through blue.
Okay.
If it comes through green, not to shit on you at all.
Listen, I'm not offended. It's okay.
It comes off as, I'm about to scam the shit out of you. It comes off with typically on a reply stop to end on a requirements, what's called the A2P 10 DLC. It's a giant thing you have to go through when you have a CRM. You have to have your EIN number, you have to have your business, you have to have your address for the business, and it goes through a 2-week process for them to approve it, and it's a total pain in the ass. So first it's a pain in the ass, then you get low response rates, and then you have to, at every first text you send out, you have to say reply stop to end at the end of your text. Okay, does that say sales or what? So we said, how do I fix that? So we've had several team members on Lone Wolf that have wanted to get rid of that. I can say, well, some of them aren't even with Lone Wolf anymore because that was an issue. And they're like, how do I fix this?
So just to be clear, so that I'm understanding correctly and everyone who's listening, if you are working with a CRM, it's always going to come through as like an Android platform.
Correct.
Is that what you're saying?
It comes in through as RCS or SMS.
Gotcha.
You have to go out of your way to find a solution that talks natively in Apple. I call
Okay.
it the love language.
Right.
So if you and I are friends and I know you're an Android user, I've got your contact information.
Yeah,
saved.
you're not thinking anything of it.
I'm not thinking everything. You're just the odd one out.
Right.
Right. In my friend group. Just
Yeah.
to be truthful. For
Oh,
some reason,
I
there's
get it.
that difference. When you're talking about business, well, if I get a green message that says stop to end, I know someone who knows me would not say, hey, Rob, haven't seen you in a while. Let's grab lunch. Stop to end.
Right.
Right? And so immediately I'm going up. I constantly get texts right now that are green that tell me that my Social Security has been fined and I need to pay this bill, or a state I lived in 5 years ago is what have you. And so people are conditioned to just be a little skeptical.
Yeah, if it's
And
a random number.
Right. And so if I talk about that chasm that we're solving that problem in, from someone saying, hi, I need help, to putting two people together to solve a really stressful problem, right? Which is I want to buy or sell a house. We think that's gnarly from a human standpoint, right? Maybe outside of getting married,
Sure.
the most stressful event. Lenders know that too, right? So anyone who's been doing this knows that that's very stressful, but the client doesn't know. It might be their first purchase. So how do we remove the friction, right? And that's our objective. So when when we geek out on like, why are we so passionate about Blue? Well, it matters to Apple users. It doesn't matter to an Android user. We'll send them a green text, not an issue. But for an Apple user, which might be a certain percentage of your group, your target audience, we just removed a whole bunch of friction, which makes you more human. And so when we think about the power of artificial intelligence and leveraging that in your workflow, it can actually be quite abrasive if you just apply it, right?
Yeah.
Like if I send back a complex answer to you within a millisecond of you sending a text, you know that's not somebody.
Right.
It might be a great answer, but there's a friction to it, right?
Yeah, it goes back to your point where technology is 1 and 0.
Yes, and so humans aren't so binary. Sometimes I start and stop texting. Like if you were obsessed with my little text bubble, you might be like, why is Rob thinking? Why is he starting and stopping the text message? Well, because in my brain, I'm trying to put something together. I'm trying to put a cohesive thought. I use too many words, so I'm trying to get 5 sentences down to 2 because you won't read 5. You know that's human behavior. And so when Matt geeks out about the Blue side of things, it's because we say, well, that's an area where we can help reduce friction.
Yeah. Is that the reason for the name?
Yeah. We love blue. It's also our favorite color. We probably should have worn blue shirts today.
Turns out we're in a big blue room.
I know. It is our favorite color. And that definitely is part of it. It's blue in and out.
Okay.
Azulio is
Input, output, I/O.
Got it.
Output.
I'm glad that
We're a little nerdy.
I figured that out just
did.
now. I'm like, I see what they did here.
Yep.
They're obsessed.
The
with
A is
blue.
also blue. I don't know if it gives it away.
No, I just went with the Spanish. The Azul.
There you go.
Yeah,
It kind of sounds like a tequila company.
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Maybe future spinoff.
So blue text is the big thing.
So yeah, when we were doing stuff on,
I mean, is anybody else doing blue texts in a CRM?
native into a CRM? No.
No, you can pay for third parties to add on.
Mm-hmm.
That tends to be a little expensive to do, so it is doable. The Azulio side of things is, well, we're talking about the blue text, and that's definitely a very exciting part because it reduces friction.
Yeah, I can see that.
It is a component, just like the CRM is a component. There's the blue texting, there's the engagement with your social media, there's responding back to engagements on social media, not just managing your content going out, but when someone says, hey, I'm interested, bringing them back in, reducing the friction there of understanding who's who in your system. Fun story, Matt on his team had a lead go cold about 6 months ago,
Okay.
then somehow popped up as a new warm lead because they had engaged in social media. And Azulio brought that in and said, hey, they're back. Transacted.
Yeah.
Right? And so how do we bring together a solution that just has overwhelming value for you?
Sure.
Right? Is complete without being complex. And that's where we spend a lot of our brain cycles. Because if you're trying to do any of this at scale manually, you can't.
Yeah.
You know this.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like we're already in information overload. We've got email, text. I've got probably 3 different types of chat platforms, whether you're on Slack or you're in Zoom or you're in Teams, whatever it is. Someone says, I sent you a message, and you go. The next question is, where did you send it?
Yeah. Where? Yeah.
Right? And so if that's just happening within your business, how do you do that at scale with the public? Which is, where we think there's a really hairy, big problem. Is that needs to be more human. That needs to be one view, because the customer side is looking out and saying, well, I'm interacting with you on Instagram. How do you not know me? I don't want to be a number.
Right.
We don't want you to feel like a number. And you're not a number when you show up to buy that house.
So this is going to capture potential leads from all types of medium.
Into one inbox. So when he's talking about all these different channels and how we're going to respond to them effectively, when you go into your Azulio inbox, you have the ability to see you can filter by certain ones from Instagram to Facebook to text, whatever it is, right? You can solo them out. Or you can say, show me my entire inbox, and from most recents. I could have a YouTube comment. I could have an Instagram DM. I could have an iMessage that came through. I could have had 2 emails that just popped through, and I'll see the chronological order of them. And when I search the person's name, it'll show me all the different channels that they've done communication with me and what was the most frequent one we've done, and I'll focus on that channel because they're responding to it. But we have a place where you can respond to every single one of them in one box.
Well, I was playing around with it and asking it a bunch of questions, and I couldn't get it to tell me I was pretty or smart.
Well, sorry.
Yeah.
It only speaks the truth.
I know. Bummed me out.
I know.
So.
And that's the other bit, right? So, when we think about the communications you're having and what we're trying to achieve, we can open up the aperture or tighten it up depending on what you're trying to do. So from a current client base, we're very mindful that we need to remain playful and fun without hallucinations that make people uncomfortable, right? That's the big scary thing. Like, will it hallucinate and say something I don't want? To date, knock on wood, we believe we've got a very good solution in place that keeps.
So is this an AI like a learned language model that y'all have built, or is this something that you're using through like a Grok?
We combine a couple.
Okay.
So there's no benefit in going and building your new LLM.
Okay.
Right. That's been cracked. There's teams spending tens of millions of dollars.
Sure.
On making that happen probably every day, right?
Right?
I don't know what the actual cost is, but it's absurd. No lift there for us to go after it. What we do is we put a layer on top of it, which then narrows the aperture.
Gotcha.
Okay? And so then we then train another layer about what you're prepared to interact with. So think of it probably like a funnel. It's probably the best way. Your large language model's got the whole world, right?
Right.
We don't want you talking about the whole world. What we want you talking about is a certain subset of this. And in the real estate example, it's, I want to help you buy or sell a home. Okay, so we're going to talk about that vertical, and you're going to draw on the knowledge base that you have in that space, and then boundaries to what you'll talk about. So, for example, if you ask Addison, like, the meaning of life.
Addison being the name of the
AI.
Okay.
If you ask Addison the meaning of life, she'll be playful, but she'll bring you back on track. She won't pontificate and bring in a whole bunch of things or world views that don't matter and maybe not your opinion, right? That's really the concern.
Gotcha.
If I ask ChatGPT or Grok, I'm going to get a much different answer.
Sure.
Right? And so we want to be mindful. Addison also does phone calls. So it's not just through text. You can interact with her on our website. You can text our number and you can call our number. The voice part is where I think we are just starting to really tip into. People understand text. They understand it. They call it a chatbot on the website. There's more that goes on behind the scenes to make that exciting and interesting. But when I can talk to Addison, and we can call her different things and she can have different accents, but the concept's the same.
Right.
I can ask her to help me set something up. Where that goes for us in the not too distant future is I can ask Addison to do work. So if you're a real estate agent, for example, and I need an inspection done, we're not far away from saying, hey, Addison, I just left. We need to make sure that inspection happens tomorrow. Can you call such and such? Addison knows who that vendor is, reaches out on your behalf, and completes that call. Think of that from a lending standpoint in a future state where your borrower is missing a document. You emailed them, you text messaged them, they didn't get that document back. It's going to affect closing, right? Title's got the same problem. Who's ever chasing this problem down? In a not too distant future, like just around the corner for us, is you could have her call and say, well, Matt, I've been trying to reach you. We're about to hold up closing. We really need that third pay stub.
Yeah. No, I love that.
Isn't that a better experience?
Yeah, I wish people answered their phone more, but I hear what you're saying.
If they won't respond via text, phone, or email, we have a different problem. I don't know how we're going to solve that one.
Pigeon carrier.
Pigeon carrier, yeah, they'd have to be at home.
Yeah.
So I know y'all have been building this for a while now. I mean, is this completely up and running? Are we still working stuff out? We're there. It's a done deal.
We're in production. We're running live transactions. It's happening. We just did a wrap-up on the analysis of August data, and it's very compelling. I would say August is the first solid month where we've had the most clients processing leads and opportunities and communications. And what I'm seeing, and Matt, jump in if you feel differently, is I think we're sucking a little volume away from folks who are not using the solution. So if I can get back to you, if you express interest in a human fashion, in a time frame that humans can't because you're at the gym, you're showing a listing, or you're asleep, that's an opportunity that someone else didn't get.
Yeah.
And so we closed an extra 14 transactions. They were buy, obviously. The sells will take a little longer. And that's from about 900. I think the exact number is 901, if I'm not mistaken. And about 2/3 of those had an interaction, with a percentage of those being on phones. About a quarter of those were phone calls. Contracts were signed. Transactions were had.
Yeah.
What's the feedback been in regards to, I typically find that, when you go into anything, you as the creators of this probably figured, okay, this is what they're going to love. This is what they might not love. Is there anything that kind of ended up being something that was better that you didn't think people were going to really like so much that people are saying, hey, I really love this part about it. And you're like, wow, I did not think that was something that people were going to like see value in. So let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about this in my business and kind of to the phone conversation portion of it, where I find that the best response that I get is through text message, right? I mean, people love to text because it's discreet. They can have conversations without having to pick up the phone. And then, I'm a little older than some of the people out there, and I find that
You're not that old.
Yeah, well, I find that there's a large portion of home buyers that like actually having a phone conversation is just, it's total ick.
Yeah.
So as an example, when you're mentioning the voice stuff, I'm thinking like, no, it's the text message stuff that I would see the most value in. So going back to my original question, I haven't experienced Azulio personally, but is there anything that kind of similar to that where you thought this is what everyone's going to love and everybody's loving something different? Or did it really just play out exactly the way you thought?
I think a feature that we built that we kind of built and then thought, yeah, this is a need, but we did get initial demand on was the reporting dashboard.
Okay.
And so people are looking at opportunities, right? Where are things at? How many transactions can I target over the next 90 days? The more sophisticated user then says, how am I going to ensure I'm on track to my 90-day plan?
Okay.
And so in just the last couple weeks, something that's been sitting dormant has gotten a lot of attention. So we've got really powerful reporting.
Well, I was going to say the hub.
You like the hub?
Well, I'm just saying I didn't expect reactions to be as great as they were. So we built a custom hub for whatever brokerage you're at. So when you log in, the first thing you're going to see is, I'm going to use EXP for example. You'll have the Okta page where all your apps are. But then we're going to make it very simple. Here's a button to EXP University. Here's going to be your SkySlope. Here's going to be your My EXP app. Like, all it is hyperlinks with some logos on it and make it pretty. Like, it's nothing hard to build for us. But, like, as soon as people saw that, it was like, holy crap, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just
like,
convenient.
all we did was just change the user interface of what you have for EXP and just make it a little prettier.
Right.
That's a good example because when we were thinking like let's put that together, I thought how many people would actually use that? But this is a classic. It's really hard to be in your customer's shoes all the time. Where do they want to go? One place. They don't want 11 things to go into. They might know that I have to enter my email. I might have to go here. I might have to go there. But if they're spending their time in Azulio, and Azulio is the center point. So like I've shifted my behavior. I look at my Azulio calendar. I don't look at the calendar on my phone anymore.
That's a big change that I made.
So that would probably be one where like I'm stupid excited about it, but it's so basic. And
that's kind of
don't
my
laugh
point.
at me as you guys like think about this, but like I've got 4 calendars. I don't lead that complicated a life, but kid's got his school. He's in band. I've got a band calendar. How does that make sure I don't get a conflicting meeting with Matt or the team? And that brings all. So when I want to join a meeting, I just pull up the Azulio app, and I'm not actually looking at the phone app for my calendar anymore, and I jump right in.
Well, and that's kind of my point. I typically find when I talk to business owners that are creating something, usually the things that, that end up being the most exciting are not the things that they thought about. I mean, I think we can all agree that in almost anything we do, when we go into something, we're like, okay, this is going to happen, and then this, and then that. And, you try to do everything you can to predict as much as possible. But then there's always things that you're like, oh, my God, I never thought this was going to be.
Yeah. To your point, on the flip side, we thought that AI voice was going to be like to the moon for our start off.
Yep.
It still has a lot of engagement, and we have a lot of excitement over it. But I think there is a fear, and this is going to be a really good clip. And there's a fear that AI is taking over. AI is not taking over.
No.
AI is going to be utilized by the people who want the highest productivity and opportunity leverage. And if they use AI, they're going to be ahead of the game with everybody else. If you are not using AI will overtake you in a way because you're not utilizing it because others are.
Well, this reminds me of a similar situation that we experienced like 10 years ago when, you had businesses and, for lack of a better term, like consultants that were talking about the importance of getting on social media. I mean, I think about like one person specifically that was kind of the pioneer for, just talking about this was like Gary Vee, right? So you had Gary Vee who was talking about all of these online platforms and ultimately, letting people know that like your phone is going to ultimately replace, within reason, of course, your television.
Yeah.
And you had people that were fighting this like tooth and nail that, were like, I'm not going on and making a video. I'm not going on and doing anything along those lines. And I had a conversation with someone yesterday who flat out told me that they refuse to get in a Waymo because they're like boycotting AI. And
you can live like that for a while.
I agree. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is that touching on the social media aspect. I mean, here we are.
Yep.
10 years later.
It's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like the internet.
Right. I remember people. I'm old school.
Yeah.
I'm old school, right? But I guess the point I'm trying to make is like this podcast was kind of invented with the intention of creating content for real estate agents that had a fear of getting in front of a camera and creating online content.
Interesting. Okay.
Because we could have organic conversations, record it, and create clips, right?
Yep.
So we had our 2-year anniversary on July 7th. So this has been rocking out for 2 years, and podcasts are still a thing, but like they were way
so fast.
They were way cooler 2 years ago.
Yep.
But the point I'm trying to make was like I was trying to solve a problem, right? Because I couldn't get over the amount of people. And you saw the memes, right? You saw these memes from agents that were like, well, I guess I got to get on and make a TikTok now to be a realtor, right? And that was like the joke. And it was like, well, it's not that black and white, but like, yeah, your social media content is going to help market and brand you, and it's going to keep you top of mind. I mean, it's debatable that like social media, on the surface level is nothing more than a marketing CRM, right? Like it's there for when your clients are doom scrolling and or trolling you.
Sure.
They're going to get to know you without having to get to know you.
Yep.
And that's powerful.
And what you're really speaking to is location has always mattered. Think about your
Sure.
business. So the location of where people are gathering, be that physical now to more digital, you want to be there in whatever capacity you're comfortable with. I think that fear is, misunderstood. I think if you look at some of the other technical advances that people have just willingly accepted, I've got an Alexa. Sometimes Alexa reminds me of something that I probably need to buy because somehow there's an algorithm in the background that's determined that I need more coffee pods. That's AI.
Right.
And it's helpful because I don't run out of coffee pods. Now, I probably have twice as many as I need for our coffee consumption, but you're never going to come over to the house and we're going to be out of coffee. And that's a cool feature. Think back to when Apple rolled out Apple Maps, and then probably, I think it was a couple years later, I started getting a notification on my phone that if I left now, I'd save 14 minutes on my drive home.
Yeah.
That's not creepy. That's helpful.
Sure.
So I think there's this vision of artificial intelligence, and probably Hollywood's done a great job. We've seen a lot of where things go wrong, Skynet. That's not where we're at. We don't have consciousness. What we have is like really good, helpful assistance that can amplify your day. And so I would say that the fear is probably unfounded. I've accepted other things like Amazon's got same-day delivery. The bar just got raised. So if you're competing with Amazon, you have a much higher bar. If we think about real estate agents and the space they're in, the bar is getting raised with technology, regardless of just what we're doing in the space. People need to be on social media. They need to be engaging with their customers. They need to be talking to them in a fashion that works. Mailed cards still work. A text message vibrates in your phone, in your pocket. It's not that you stop doing the mail. It's that you start doing more of something else and you add to it. And it's kind of like a toolbox is kind of how I look at it.
Well, and I think that's, fear is definitely a part of it, but I think some of the additional reluctancy is just the whole idea of change, having to learn something new. I mean, I'll give you kind of like an old man example. Like, it drives me nuts sometimes that I have to like purchase new subscriptions to watch a specific show, right? But I know on a broad stroke, or, that I'm thinking, okay, but you know what? I have so much more access to like good television. I can decide what I want. But on a surface level, it's kind of like, really? Now we have to get Apple TV? Well, we already have Netflix. We have Amazon. We have HBO, which is an add-on to my Amazon. I've got Showtime. It's like, when does it end, right?
It doesn't end. You have endless choices.
And I think that, in addition to the fear, is kind of what the whole AI thing is like frustrating to people, because I feel like a lot of people are like, look, I already got enough things I got to do. Now I got to learn how to do this. And that's just a statement there. But, as we're touching on some of the reluctancies and whatnot, I think that's a big part of it.
So we geek out on the potential. And so when you say like there's one more thing, you heard us earlier, like we're saying, no, there's one less thing.
Right.
All you got to do is get into Azulio.
Yeah.
You start solving problems there. And if there's something we don't have, like there'll be an announcement coming up with another extension of what we're doing to make it more complete. And so our objective is that you only have to have one solution, because it's so complete that if you want to do something like we do training modules too, and people would say, why would you do that? Well, that's really helpful if you're managing a team of real estate agents. Okay, is that the top thing you buy us for? No. But if you come to us and say, I've got 20 agents and I want them to engage in a consistent fashion, how do I do that? Well, we have a solution for that. Well, why do we have a solution for that? Because we looked at the entire experience, the journey you're going to go through from maybe saying, hey, I'm a solo agent, I want to start building a team. What are you going to need? Well, we don't want you to leave. We haven't created value for you there. Why don't we create that value? And by the way, we don't charge for that. You're in. Let's go. You're part of the Azulio family. So I think that's kind of where our brain goes. My brain really geeks out on like the AI side of things, but the reality is there's a lot of aspects leading up to the AI engagement. And then we have a feature that we're not sure we're going to expose yet to customers, like to build workflow using artificial intelligence. Really powerful. We use it internally, but maybe it's a little too much. Like Matt and I geek out on this stuff all the time.
I could just literally told GPT yesterday, build me a workflow that does X, Y, and Z, and I needed these factors to be into it. Give me a copy and paste version of it so I can throw it into my workflow AI build. It gives me a black section and it says copy at the top. I click copy. I put it in. I'm like, nah, there's no way it's going to work. They freaking build the whole thing out.
Now, and so this is the power, like, what was it? Spider-Man's father says, great power comes great responsibility.
Spider-Man's grandpa.
There we
Dad
go.
No, uncle.
Uncle, excuse me.
Nobody even knew.
God, come on, guys.
All right,
Sorry.
so reference
Sorry.
there, blown, Rob. But that's really powerful. It's really powerful because what we did is, for one, we already have the ability to build workflow in the UI, right? That's just leaps and bounds above what normally is the code deploy, wait 2 weeks. Then we layered in AI. Now, here's the challenge with that, though. You can build a workflow by mistake that does exactly what you asked it and sends out a communication to all 10,000 of your customers, former clients, future opportunities, all at once. And you know what it's going to do? Do it perfectly. It's all going to get out there. So what we're juggling is maybe the technology is not the challenge. It'll do exactly what you ask. And so I don't fear AI up into the point where
But yeah,
I think like you can ask it to do really powerful stuff, and then it does that, and it's happening so quickly that you haven't paused and said, well, if I click submit, what actually happens? This whole system fires off, which will not relative compute. Like, it's not like your computer is going to load one email at a time. It's just done. Text messages, phone calls, emails can all just start. That's the power.
So from a sales side, I mean, I'm sure you guys have done presentations, you've talked to companies, you've signed them on. What are some of the questions that they're answering that are, questions that people who are listening right now maybe?
How is this going to help my conversion?
Okay.
So if you were to guess, what do you think our response rate was when we were on Follow Boss?
Response rate from, what is it, Raya?
No, sure. We can use Raya. That would go up a scale. Let's use Raya. That was Lopo. Texting to go out. What do you think the response rate was on a new lead that was PPC?
Less than 5%. I mean,
Okay.
I'd say like 2 to 3%.
It was higher than that. It was 11.
Okay.
What do you think we're getting from Addison with blue iMessages going out?
I mean, if Raya was 11, then what, 15?
83%.
Oh, wow. Because I think it's a person.
Correct.
Just because of a blue text message.
Well, and then also the quality of the engagement.
Just a testament to the culty fucking weirdness of an
Well,
Apple user.
Eventually we're gonna get you.
I mean, as you guys like talk to me, you're like, listen, I'm really, really sorry. And I'm like, I'm good. Like, I'm not worried about that. But the fact that, like, what you just said, like, how could anyone think I'm the fucking weirdo with the green text message? Like, and I'm the weirdo?
No.
Okay, I got you.
But we geek out on this stuff. So just think about what Matt just said there, though. So you're spending the same amount of dollars, but you're getting not even just a small improvement, like dramatically different.
All because of the color of a text.
Well, and also the quality of the engagement that
Sure.
goes out. So
Sure.
in fairness, it's not just the blue. The blue matters a lot.
On a scale of 1 to 10, the blue's a 7 for the importance.
Yes. The quality of the messaging that goes out, because it's dynamic and more personable, that's also in there. It's a little harder to measure because we can't do a like for like. Once you put stop to end, come on, that doesn't matter how good the first 2 sentences were. That's done.
Right.
Another question that we get asked, which is the pressure that business is feeling, and I think it's everywhere. How do I get more done with the same team? Right? So I want to grow my business, but I want to make sure that I'm growing it in a healthy fashion, because I just probably last year maybe had to let a couple people go. I don't want to do that again. So I've got my team where we can manage business today. This is the common state in lending and in real estate, right? It's been a tough couple of years. But I want to focus on growth. I'm prepared to spend, but what I don't want to do is bring someone who supports a family in, and then maybe in 6 or 8 months it doesn't quite go as well, and I have to have that uncomfortable conversation. What I really want to do is maybe for the 12 people that are working for me, build that business, grow that business, and I'm creating a better future for all of us. And that's the human side for us. Right?
That's probably going to be your biggest obstacle. It's getting people to adopt, right?
Honestly, that question we answer really well. They don't have issues. As soon as we share with them what can be done for what they pay, it's, wow, okay, like how fast do I get started? What does it take? Well,
I mean, I still know people printing paper invoices and writing things on fucking sticky notes.
well, you tell them that there's trees that yes.
You can tell how that makes me feel.
Yes,
Been
it does.
paperless since 2009.
I know. It's some of those folks you won't change. But for other folks who are looking at their future and saying, hey, like I'm hungry to grow. I've got a sound business, but I need more consistency and process, and I need to leverage technology. I don't quite know how to implement it. I'm really good at using ChatGPT. Okay, great. You can't use that at scale on your business.
Yeah.
You've got workflows and people you got to interact with, so it doesn't quite work. Azulio is a different story, though. It's like I can implement workflow, AI. I can engage with a team. I can chase things down. I can have visibility, and I pay monthly, and it returns. So like the ROI is like 400+%.
Sure.
I have never been in a business where that was so easily proven. And then the risk is so low. Like this is not like we're going to wait 6 months to see results. How fast could you hire someone in your business and see results from them?
Oh, I mean, you can hire someone quickly, but see results, depending on the role, I mean, could take 24 to 36 months.
That's a long payback period.
Sure is.
And there's a lot of risk that can go wrong.
Absolutely. People are unpredictable.
Especially when they don't show up the first day.
Yeah, that happens more than you know.
We've been trying to hire an ISA for about 3 years now.
He thought I was crazy. This kid came in for like 3 different interviews, and when the day to actually start, and he's like, well, so-and-so start. And I said, well, he's still got to show up on his first day. And he's like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'd say 20% of the time they won't show up on their first day. And sure enough, didn't show up.
Well, man, that raises an interesting...
That goes to AI.
Well, I didn't think about it that way, but, I mean, it runs all the time.
AI always shows up.
Always shows up.
She never goes on vacation. She never asks for PTO.
Unless she wrecks the power grid and tries to take us over.
I mean, that's Terminator right there.
Right.
Yeah. Elon maybe he's up to some cool stuff that gets us.
Well, Elon is AI.
Yeah, I think he's building Skynet.
Yeah.
Like in a jokingly loving fashion. Hope it doesn't actually go that way. But the robots are building cars. Eventually they'll build other robots. But maybe we'll be like in our 70s when that's real. I don't know how fast this goes.
I don't know. I'm a big believer in the invisible hand. And as much as we just talked about a lot of things that people didn't want to adopt that took off and have become mainstream and normal now, there's also a lot of things that people swore up and down that were going to happen that basically didn't happen, no longer exist whatsoever. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be exciting.
I think it is an exciting space.
Random question. Are you going to EXPCon?
Yeah. Well, okay. I don't know if I'm going to the actual conference, but I'll be there the entire time.
Okay.
I'm already going to be out there. We have our event for the boat. I'm going to be out there Monday, or it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
So I'll be out there all 3 days. I just don't know if I want to spring for the ticket, and we can talk about that offline. But
you can be my. Okay.
You can be his +1.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Just as long as you hold hands. Just
I'll
for
be
a
there.
minute.
Just pinkies only.
Yeah, I'll be there. Why do you ask?
We'll be there.
I was going to talk about the launch party, and so for those that are interested in Azulio, inviting those that want to be part of the Azulio family, October 21st, out of the Miami Beach Harbor Gold Star Financials, CEO's yacht. Is that how to say it?
It's the owner of Gold Star. It's his boat. Yeah, Dan Milstein.
Has kindly offered us to use it for our launch party for Azulio. That'll be October 21st, 7 to 10 o'clock. If you want an invite to it, we have very few spots left, and then we'd want to set up a kind of time for us to chat about Azulio first and go from there.
Yeah, we're getting on at I don't know what the exact time is. I have the information somewhere, but it's after the conference. We'll be out there on the boat, and then we've got it for within reason as long as we want. Yeah, we'll have food on there. There'll be drinks on there. It'll be fun. With me being a lender, I'm looking for the same thing that Matt is as well. So we're looking to get agents on there that not only want to have fun and mingle and have a good time, but also want to hear about some of the stuff that we just chatted about.
Perfect.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I heard the gas tank is going to be full, so we're going to motor around a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. We'll be able to get out. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Every time I'm on that boat, we always have a blast. So literally it's a beautiful boat.
We're looking forward to it.
It's not a boat. It's a yacht.
It's a yacht.
A yacht.
Yeah.
Yep. Built in Poland. I know that.
Really?
64 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
Three decks.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They put it on a boat to get it over?
Yeah. I asked that question. I'm like, so do they drive it? They're like, no. It goes on a boat, and then it's, because I thought, well, why not just drive it there?
I don't think the range is there. I don't know what you do.
I don't know. I'm not rich enough to know stuff like that, so... But I asked.
You asked.
I did.
And
I did ask.
Like, no, that's a silly question.
Like,
if only you knew boats.
You broke bastard. I was like, sorry, I didn't know.
Sorry, real estate 2024 and 2025.
Yeah. Well, what else do we need to know about the platform? Obviously, right now, I know that we're really going after real estate agents for this, but eventually, it sounds to me like it could be utilized with almost any business.
Any business, sales organization, whatever it might be, coaching,
insurance.
All the above. For anyone who wants to test it out and see AI and schedule a demo with us, 512-994-1057. Call or text that number. You'll reach Addison, our AI. She'll set up an appointment with you so we can go through a full discovery and demo call and see if it's a fit for you and your organization.
I love it.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to cover?
Well, what's interesting about the problem space, I think, is when you said it can solve anybody's problem. Think about all the opportunities that are slipping through the cracks. Someone calls and says hi, and you're like, I'm available, and then they don't call back. Azulio helps solve that problem by bringing you into the ecosystem. You can start do a nurture campaign. One of the requests we got was for restaurants. didn't think about it, but the hostess is getting a call all the time. Do you have a table available? Those are your customers.
And now, with that, imagine the AI has a full understanding of the menu. You were looking at the menu online, you're like, yeah, I just want to order these few things. Instead of me clicking on all these icons and doing this thing, I just want spaghetti, I want a ravioli, and I want a caprese salad with a side salad. And I just text that over. AI then says, I'm going to confirm your order for you. Here's what I have.
Yeah.
Here's the price for it. Do I have the okay to order this? You say yes.
Jet's Pizza does that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I do like
So we just got a request for this. And we're like, well, yeah, absolutely we could do that.
Yeah.
And that's what is exciting about it. It's then you don't have to have an app. But then from the business owner, you've just provided a better experience. Set yourself apart a little bit. And then I can't remember the last time I had a restaurant send out a meaningful thing to me.
Right.
Right? I get promotional stuff like happy hour, but not consistently. And so I think we'll see more shifts in that space as well.
And from a blue text.
I know.
Oh my
See,
God.
we might have to buy him an iPhone. I think we're good. I know.
I gotta get.
There's nothing like when an Android user sends me a video and it looks like a 1999.
Well, they
flip
fixed that
phone.
now. That's been fixed.
Okay.
That's been
just
fixed.
recently though.
Yeah, that's been fixed
Yeah.
in the last 6 months.
Okay. All right.
Once his phone started sending RCS, it was like a game changer.
Yeah, that's when it happened.
Yeah,
It flipped.
RCS text where because he started having bubbles on when I was texting, and I remember texting him like, "Dude, you get an iPhone?"
It's like, no, they just upgraded it.
So you could see how few people in my network text green.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't know that changed. Because the last time I just made fun of him and I said we need to buy you a real phone.
So Ina, she
Is she on Blue?
so she was
division in the home.
she was an Android user for years and then got shamed so hard that she ended up getting it's a 14 are you guys on or
I don't know what the numbers are.
so she got the newest phone just last year.
Okay.
And, obviously everyone was like, yay, Ina's text and blah, blah, blah. But she'll flat out tell you, she's like, it's not as good of a phone.
That can't be true at all.
You can ask her when you get out of here.
Well, that might.
Because I hate when people say Android because then that lumps in like every single phone that's associated with the Android platform.
Yes.
Because I'll agree with you, like there's a lot of dog shit Android phones out there. But when you're getting into the upper echelons, like I've never messed around with the Windows phone, but I hear it's awesome. I've always been a Galaxy guy, so it's like these aren't cheap phones, right?
And I don't know anything that you're talking about.
Yeah. So.
Because the problem is I flip open my laptop and everything that's on my device is synced on my laptop.
Same. Because everything that we have to use with loan operating software is all, you can't even.
Do you have a text messaging app?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, you can do all
But
that.
it's on your phone?
Both. I mean, I can text from my computer. I can text from my phone. Everything syncs, all of the things.
Do you have the equivalent of like FaceTime where you can video call without a third-party app?
I don't know. I've never done
That's
that.
coming soon.
Okay.
That'll be coming soon to your
Isn't that
platform.
Skype? Isn't that what they've done? But that's a third-party app.
Yeah.
I got
I'm just having fun with you.
No. It's okay. I hear what you're saying.
For me, it was the security challenges. So, the device platforms have very different views on security.
Well, and for the record, the difference that she's experienced has nothing to do with any of the software. It's really just, it's the speed of the phone and all of those types of things. They move a little quicker.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not even into the customization, but according to some of the nerds that I've talked to, that's a big thing. Outside of that, I agree with you. Like, my parents, for example, they operate with like an HTC because they won't switch to Apple because it's like so confusing for them.
Oh my God, I haven't seen that name.
So they have like HTC phones that they've gotten.
3G?
Well, if you go to like Cricket Wireless or whatever, like they only need to talk to like 3 people, right? So if you go to like Cricket Wireless and they give you that free phone,
That's
it's
what you're
technically an Android. And
Yeah,
if I were to
stripped down.
hand you an HTC Android, you'd be like, "See, this is a piece of shit," and I would agree with you.
Well, and I
Right?
think that's probably the major difference, right? So Google's built a platform that everyone can use and you can layer on top, which means it's an inconsistent experience.
Well, and you have hardware. I think I'm saying it correctly. You have hardware that varies from,
Yes.
what I would consider to be like C+ hardware all the way to,
The Cadillac stuff.
yeah, a lot of these Galaxies that I ended up purchasing brand new, they're $1,700 to $2,000 phones.
Wow.
These are not like cheap devices,
They're
right?
definitely not cheap.
But when you just say just Android, people are like, loser. It's like, wait a second.
It is an interesting debate. I think Apple's always been a little stronger on the decisioning of their hardware, so they can support it and maintain the experience.
The marketing experience from Apple has been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I could say there's a lot of brands that operate like that. Like if you were to say to me, hey, I'm like, what kind of car do you drive, Rob? You're like, I drive a Mercedes. That doesn't really mean much to me because you could drive like a C230. That's a $45,000 piece of shit. And I'm like, I'm not impressed. But if you're like, no, I drive an S550 Maybach, I'm like, holy shit, dude, that's one of the nicest
is
cars.
good.
Yeah, that's
Do not drive that.
So like
That's his dream car.
That's his dream car.
right. So
Okay.
like saying Mercedes, I drive a Mercedes is the same thing as being like I drive an Android.
But it used
It's
to
like,
mean something different.
It used to.
So it used to be
You could
better engineering,
Yes.
better safety features, top performance, and some of the most luxurious options in the market. They went down market recently, like in the last decade or so.
Yeah. Now they're built in America.
Right? But that quality hasn't been an issue.
It depends on. That's my point, though. It depends
price
on
point.
what price point you're getting into, and I mean, I think that hasn't Apple started doing that where you do have the opportunity to get like the iPhone A or something like that.
It's not, I don't know the exact name to it. But
Yeah,
there's
'cause-
like you have like not the giant screen,
Right.
But like you have this one, and then you have the one that has a slower processing speed than this one,
Right.
And it has a shittier camera.
Because I know, like
It's the older generation. What they've
like
done
my
is-
buddy Clay, he hates technology, but he understands he has to have like a smartphone. He literally just got his first smartphone 4 years ago.
Good for him.
Yeah. And he went in and got the Apple, and I didn't even know they made one. And he like showed it to me. I'm like, what the hell is this thing? He's like, it's a brand new phone. I'm like, this thing looks 10 years old.
Well, I think I don't know for sure, but what I think they've done is they've just kept the legacy tech in production and gone down market, but with the same consistent hardware experience.
Yeah, I think it's like a 5.
Sure.
Like
yeah.
like that was the first. That's when Siri came out.
Yep.
I had an iPhone for the record.
I don't know why you ever left the family.
It's just it's if you're.
I would be very curious to see what your engagement, text message wise, cold outreach would be.
Well, and I'll be the first to admit that to me is super interesting, right? Because
For all the gripe.
no, I mean that's super. I already carry 2 phones. Like if I need to
do.
carry a separate phone, that I have
Let's
no
get you a real
problem with
phone
the
then.
operating system or anything along those lines. Like if blue text messaging is gonna, I'll come to the dark side if it's gonna pay me.
It's the blue side. It's
That's
the
the whole
Right?
point.
If I got to go to the dark side for money, like that, then I'm
So-
all in.
We were talking with our vendor who handles providing us the blue text and supporting everything for us. And he was in the process of, the owner of the company was in the process of buying a home. And then he saw his real estate agent was basically handling everything on his phone. He goes, dude, I got to have a question for you. And this is before they released the blue stuff. He goes, do you ever go to your desktop to handle your work stuff? He goes, no one's going to respond there. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, I do. I can write a contract here. I can send text message here. I can do everything right here.
That's a generational thing, though, man.
I hear you. But he goes,
It really is.
He goes, but okay, so what if you were to text me from your CRM? He goes, I don't think you're going to respond to it. It's a green text.
So there's a lot to be said for this. And then layer in the human side of how we can manage the communication, right? So it's not just a manual. How do you do things at scale? How do you solve really challenging problems and make them human?
No, I love the blue idea. And to your point, like anytime that we were dealing in CRMs, my issue with it was that, a lot of the numbers weren't local, right? Because that's another
That's a
big
problem.
thing.
Not
And
an
then the
issue.
other piece of it is that once the client identifies who you are, it's like, I don't want to be using a separate number. So I was always going, even with my shitty green texts, I was always going direct and I was receiving a much higher response ratio because it was my phone versus the information or whatever you call it.
A2P 10 DLC.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it was blue, I
So
can.
here's the interesting thing. You don't have to change phones on Azulio. We'll put an app on your phone. It'll be Azulio.
Right.
And now you're texting blue.
Now I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I know. But what it does is what we're also trying to do is, on the human side of things, and I think you know this and agents know this, anyone involved in the house transaction, you're working 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. Right? Text rings at 6:30. Why is that? I said text rings. I meant the phone rings
I know
at
what you're saying,
6:30. Why are you answering that during dinner? Well, because that's when your client's available.
Yep.
Because they just finished their full-time job and they're following up. Like, do I have to sign something tonight? How do we create a little bit of barriers for you so, like, if you have to turn the phone down for 30 minutes, the family can still get a hold of you? Put the notifications on the app on quiet, right? You can still get back to it. So we're trying to provide the opportunity where you don't necessarily have to give out your personal cell phone all the time. Have a local number for your zip code, solve all of that. And then we do text green. So if we text, if the person's not an Apple user, they're going to get a green text, and all from the same platform. So the good news is I just talked him out of buying an iPhone, which I just want to see you gripe
Yeah, I just need a blue text.
You just need a blue text.
Yeah, it solves my problems, I guess.
So
Send over the invoice later.
sounds like we got a sale here.
Any other announcements that we need to know about? We've got EXPCon coming up, which is October 20th through the 22nd. We're going to be on the boat on the 21st. So if you're a local Texas agent, and then I've even opened it up to some of the people in Florida as well. I mean, let us know, reach out. What else? What other announcements are coming up? Are you guys doing any events or anything along those lines?
Yes, actually we do.
There we go.
I got a question for you live.
Yeah, what's up?
September 17th. Would you like to speak on a panel?
Sure. Yeah, September 17th. It's
a Wednesday.
a Wednesday. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean,
Okay, September 17th at 1 o'clock. You're going to be our 6th speaker.
Okay.
We're going to it's a 90-minute webinar.
All right.
We're going to be going over the power of AI plus iMessage on automations and what conversion numbers are like.
Okay.
And then we're going to have everyone talking about what they've done for lead conversion. So they have other opportunities to see not just what the tech side does, but some strategies that people have put in place
Okay.
and what they've done for converting leads.
Yeah, we've got a CRM built into our system with Gold Star that's similar to what y'all are talking about right now. And I actually have another training on it this week. But yeah, I'd be happy to chat about that.
Okay,
And then
okay.
more
That'd be
importantly,
awesome.
I'd love to hear what everyone else has got going on. I mean,
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be agents all across the country. And then I actually got 2 separate business owners that aren't even real estate related.
Okay.
So we get to see kind of what people are doing outside of real estate. We got a restaurant. We're going to have insurance. We're going to have a few things of what they're doing to qualify leads.
I think based on what you guys are doing right now, I truly think that insurance is going to be the one that's going to really take off because
Opportunities
you've
there.
got way more units, if you will,
I
right?
get you. More policies versus homes sold.
Way more. And the margins are lower. And because of that, the give a shit factor of an insurance agent is lower in terms of follow-up, right? So like a real estate agent or myself, for example, we're way more motivated to follow up.
because the bigger financial dollars
Because
associated with the
there's a bigger
opportunity.
payout, right? So
Sure.
the juice is worth the squeeze type of thing. And I'm just saying this as like a blanketed statement because I know there's insurance agents out there that are just follow up kings and queens, whatever you want to call them. But anytime, I mean, we know this. If are you more inclined to follow up on like a fucking $5 million purchase versus like a, hey, can I get into a $2,500 condo?
We treat everybody the same.
Right. That's the answer. But I can definitely see.
Thanks for saving my ass there.
I can definitely see insurance where you have a lower margin
Yep.
but higher inbound. I think that'd be huge.
We're also working on a couple things we can't talk about publicly just yet. So if you're not following us on social media, you should be. We're dropping clues to some fun stuff that's in the works that I think, Q3, Q4, you're going to want to be paying attention to.
Well, you guys are always welcome on to do the announcements and everything. We'll give you all the footage and do all the things. You can chop it up and
Let's do
Love it.
We'd love
make
to
your
come back.
clips. From what I've been told, from a hardware standpoint in respect to podcasts, it doesn't get any better than this.
I love it.
This is the cream of the crop.
Yeah, we just need some more ambiance, apparently. So
I'm very comfortable in here.
Yeah,
good.
it's comfortable.
Happy to hear it. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on. Always a pleasure. I wish you guys the best of luck and success and all the things. I'm excited to have you all back on and see how everything is taken off. And I can't do it today, but we'll talk more about. I want to play around with the software and everything
Sure.
like that, and would love to give you my feedback as well.
That'd be awesome.
Got it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thank you.
my pleasure. Thanks, guys.